Practice, practice, practice. Don't practice until you get it right. Ladies and gentlemen, I appreciate your time. We had a great group. All right, so I mentioned facts or fiction, and the reason I kind of like got this theme, facts or fiction. Facts, I realized, are information that's considered true and can be backed up by evidence. That's if you have a fact, you're going to prove it. But with fiction, if you say something to a customer without backing up, it can be fiction in the customer's mind. They can believe you or not believe you. It's an opinion. All right. So what I want to share with you now is how to turn those word tracks, the things that you say to a customer, into facts to move the customer closer and closer to making a decision to purchase. And it's very simple, okay? You have to develop some type of evidence manual, okay? An evidence manual, when positioned right or brought out at the right time, can turn that intangible into a tangible item, okay? Because it does provide a third-party validation that the products were offered. It also provides that visual component that moves the customer closer to deciding to buy the car. Because remember, 65% of your customers are visual learners. So I'm going to share with you what I think should go into an owner's manual, from brochures all the way down to claims that you can get from your agent partner, right? But it's important that you develop some type of evidence manual. If you don't develop an evidence manual, fine. At least have something you can show your customer, that like an article or a repair order, just to substantiate your claims as to these things do happen. A number of people will say to you during your presentation, well, I have AAA. Well, great. Let me show you, because I have a number of articles on AAA. And I'm going to give you every one of the things I'm talking about, you're going to get in a playbook I shared with you. You'll get it before Saturday morning. But articles, AAA says potholes cost American drivers $3 billion a year. Wow, that's what AAA says. So don't you think you should take AAA's advice and enroll in a tire and wheel program, or at least the bundle? Yeah, I think so. And that's what an evidence manual will do for you. The thing is, you close using illustrations, and these are a number of illustrations that I simply peeled off Google. I just went and Googled technology and vehicles, and this is what I came up with. I mean, semiconductors. Look at all these modules and sensors in these vehicles. That vehicle, like, who's really driving your car? You got surround view, you got emergency braking, you got pedestrian detection, stop sign detection, backup cameras, side view mirror cameras. I mean, these things are rolling computers now, and you can compare the car to a cell phone. I mean, the technology behind the cell phone is embedded in your vehicle. I mean, an infotainment center. That's what you have now, an infotainment center. It's no longer a radio or it's an infotainment center. So you should have these illustrations. Again, I'm going to provide them with you inside an evidence manual so that you can share the information with your customer. Then there's these articles, okay? This is from the U.S. tire manufacturer. It tells people that they can't repair tires. Edmunds, Carfax tells you how, keys are expensive to replace. And this fact sheet tells you $15 billion in tire and wheel damage. And all you have to do is Google this stuff and then, print it off, laminate it, or stick it inside it, a sleeve, and show your customer. Here's a recommendation. When you're going after you do your menu presentation and the customer says no, 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 take a break. Okay, I get it. These options aren't for everybody. While I'm printing the final paperwork, I just wanted to share something with you. And then throw something in front of them. Throw an article in front of them where they had some interest in. Maybe they had some interest in the tire and wheel. Throw that AAA article in front of them. Maybe they had some interest on a service contract. Throw that in front of them and say, look, this is all the technology, the sensors and semiconductors in these vehicles. Doesn't it make sense to reconsider your decision based just on that? So you don't have to show them the facts, turn that, that dialogue into a fact right away. You can kind of ease off it, and then right before you print the final paperwork or have them sign, say, do you have are you reconsidering? So with that said, there's brochures that you should keep in your evidence manual. Again, detailing the coverages of the programs that you just shared with the customer. I mentioned yesterday that these brochures should be kept out of sight, but available to use. The placemats available to utilize. It's a neon sign saying, I'm going to try to sell you something, when you have brochures all over your desk in the placemat. Okay. Try to avoid that at all costs. Now you have props. All right. I love props. In fact, I wrote an article in F&I magazine several years ago about props. All right. The potential to turn that tangible item, that intangible, into a tangible. Use props. A light bulb. Keep it in your desk drawer. Pull it out and say, man, I got an idea. No, I'm just kidding. This represents the vehicle's components. See, we no longer have mechanics. So you can't say your friend's a mechanic. You need to have a technician. Because what do mechanics do? Mechanics repair things. Technicians replace things, just like the light bulb. You can't repair a light bulb, so you need a technician to repair it. There's the shopping cart that is provided by some of your agent partners that you can have that you could put on your desk and show, just an illustration of this is a dangerous item in shopping carts, shopping malls, parking lots. That hits your car, you get a ding or dent. The golf ball represents porous paint. You have wear cards that you can get from your lease company. Everybody has a wear card. At the end of a lease, the customer is going to get a lease termination kit. It's going to give them 90 days to inspect the vehicle or self-inspect it with that wear card. Regardless of the damage on the vehicle, whether you fix it or not, you're still going to have to pay for it if you don't fix it. You get a key, go to the parts department, or get a spare key, a key fob, put a price tag on it, keep it on your desk, keep it in the shopping cart. Great idea. And say, this is how much it costs to replace these key fobs these days. You mentioned, Adam, yesterday, the spilled coffee. There it is, right? Okay. These are all things. These are conversation starters. The swatches that you can get from either one of your fabric and paint treatment companies. There you go. See? You got it all. Those are conversation starters. The mason jar, the magnet. These are things that come out of your tire machine. I often make fun. You could put a magnet, go out and invest in a magnet. They're kind of expensive, and put it underneath the tire machine in your service department, and go out there once a week with a magnet and see what's collected on that magnet. Put it on your desk, and you tell people, I hunt. I use a magnet to hunt. I put it underneath the tire machine. This is what I caught last week. You make it fun. Okay, so these are some of the props that you can use. And then there's ordinary items. Use common items that are on your desk or the customer brings in. You got a screen, case, insurance, 3 levels of protection on your cell phone. Here we are talking about 1 level of protection on your car. The Apple Watch, all right? I recommend you going out and investing in a charger. I got a chat. Someone's chatting with me. What do you got? What does the golf ball represent? Porous paint, okay? That's your painted surface, because once you've applied the fabric and paint treatment or the paint sealant, it seals up those pores. And what happens is, let me explain what the golf ball is. Industrial fallout, okay, from Pittsburgh, all right, from Washington, Pennsylvania, comes to Florida, and in the morning it sets on your car, called dew. And the minute the sun comes up, it burns into your paint, okay, because it's porous, and that's what's called acid rain. Once you apply the sealant, okay, you don't have to worry about everything coming from Johnstown and Washington, PA, okay? Those industrial fallout things, because it just rolls off. Hope that answers your question about the golf ball. I would recommend you go out and buy a charger that the kind that you can put an Apple Watch on, and you can just sit the phone on. And when your customer comes in, here, set your phone down and let it charge while we're in here. Put your watch up there. It needs a charge. Go ahead. And then use that as a prop. All that technology is in your watch and your phone. That's the same technology that's in your vehicle. Don't you want to reconsider enrolling in the program now? You take a thermos, beat the hell out of it, put it on your desk. The customer's going to look at it. Man, the thermos has a lot of dings and dents in it. Yeah, that's in my office. Can you imagine a poor vehicle out in the elements? Utilize your computer. A glass of water represents powertrain coverage. So I have this thing that I shared with a number of people. You've probably seen them on some of the F&I managers' desks. That represents powertrain coverage. Everything inside this is covered for the total amount of time. Everything outside, the computer, my phone, everything else is not covered. You do the same thing with a pen. The only thing that's covered in this office right now, after 3 years of 36,000 miles, is what's inside this pen. All the mechanisms that are surrounded by ink are covered in this pen. Nothing else. That's a great way of illustrating powertrain coverage. The powertrain coverage is great, but it only protects the factory. Let me explain, and I'll share with you in a moment how to do that. I'm going to share with you a calculator close, how to utilize the calculator in your stapler. That's the combustion engine. It's been mastered. Okay, what it takes to run that stapler today is that cell phone, a computer to run your combustion engine, So you utilize all these common items to convince your customer to buy. I'll go into more detail in just a few slides. But here's the deal, all right? It's only $100 or $3 a day. That's it. $100 equals $3 a day. Now, it all depends on how you look at it, all right? Here's the deal. The calculator budget close. Though the $38 may seem like a lot, okay, a month, there may be another way of looking at it. May I share something with you? On most days, I spend between $5 and $10 a day. How much do you spend? Well, I spend about the same. Okay, so the products you're interested in are a total of $38 a day. The vehicle service contract is $38 more in your monthly payment. Your base payment is $483. The $38 may seem like a lot on the surface, but have the customer calculate it on a calculator, have them do the calculations or on their cell phone, and simply say to them, You're comfortable with the 483, divide that by 30 days. What do you got? $16.10. That's how much you pay per day. That's already in the bank. You've already budgeted for that. And you mentioned to me that you spend between $5 and $10 a day. Let me ask you a question. Is a couple bucks going to change your lifestyle in any way, shape, or manner? No. Now have them calculate the 38 bucks divided by 30. That's $1.27. $1.27, and you get what you want. After all, don't you deserve it? That's how the calculator close works. It's easy. Okay, so there's one close. I love that close. That's probably my go-to close. It's only $1.25 a day. Is going to that change your lifestyle in any way, shape, or manner? Hell no. Great, sign right here. And then you have what you understand the factory warranty. So what you want to do is you want to draw 4 boxes. And in each box, you want to put the warranty. 12 months, 12,000 miles, an adjustment period, 3-year, 36,000 miles, basic, 5-year, 60 powertrain. So you look at the customer and say, I get it. You don't want to spend the extra money, or you want to take your chances, or whatever they say. You say, maybe another way of looking at it, you might have I asked you a question. No, go right ahead. What you understand in the factory warranty? Well, it's a really good one. Okay, it is. In fact, you have 3 warranties. May I explain? The first warranty, draw the box, 12 months, 12,000 miles adjustment period. What that means is while you're adjusting the car's adjusting to you. Covered virtually every component except sheet metal and glass and little maintenance stuff. Then you have the 3-year, 36,000 mile, which is included in the 1212. That's the basic warranty. Most people refer to it bumper to bumper. Have a little joke. Doesn't cover the bumpers. Ha ha ha. All right, but it does virtually cover every other component except maintenance, sheet metal, and glass. And then you have the 5-year, 60,000 mile powertrain. Anything surrounded by oil is covered. Powertrain covered. And you got to say surrounded by oil. And use an illustration. You could use the thermos on your desk, the one that you drink water out of every day, and say, what I mean is the only thing that's covered right now for the longest period of time is what's inside this thermos. Nothing else outside this thermos is covered. And then you draw a line down and say, why do you think the manufacturer limits their liability as time goes on? Because, well, I don't know. Okay, well, there's a couple reasons. Number one, what's the likelihood of something that's being maintained, surrounded by oil, and manufactured by Honda to break down? Well, it's unlikely. And that's why they warranty the powertrain the longest, because they built it and you're maintaining it and it's surrounded by oil. And that's what I meant by the warranty covers the factory. Now, within that 3-year, 36,000 miles, there's a number of components, especially electronics and sensors and semiconductors, that Honda had nothing to do with. So they can't warranty that. And they know that things that aren't maintained have a tendency of breaking down. Wouldn't you agree? Yeah. So don't you see there's question marks in your warranty? Yeah. Wouldn't you want to fill that hole and then put the question mark and then write the, circle all around and say, wouldn't you want the coverage for the whole time you own the car? Yeah, $38 a month. Well, I can't afford $38 a month. Well, here, take my calculator and divide 38 divided by, you follow where I'm going with this? That's how that works. That's another wonderful close. And then the powertrain close. Illustrations. And I'm going to share this information with you. You're going to get all this stuff, which is really cool. You show a picture of the vehicle. It's fully covered. Everything inside, as I mentioned, sheet metal, glass, and maintenance is not covered, but every other component is covered, all right? Except for interior surfaces, tires and wheels, battery. But we got you covered if you're interested, because the manufacturer doesn't cover everything, but what they don't cover, we can cover. At the end of 18 months, based on your driving, about a year and a half, 2 years, based on your driving habits, because you do 18,000 miles a year, you're going to be left with just powertrain coverage. That's like getting up in the morning, going to work naked. Do you want to go to work naked? Most people say, no, I don't. All right, then sign here. It's just a joke. You got to make it fun. And then there's the cycles, number of cycles. Thank you, Mike Stefanik, for this one. I walked into Mike Stefanik's office at Washington Honda, and I go, hey, Mike, what's going on? He goes, Gerry, I got a wonderful close. I go, yeah, what is it? The other day, a customer says to me, I don't do enough miles for a service contract. And I took a moment and I said to him, yeah, it doesn't matter how many miles you drive. It's the cycles your vehicle goes through. And I'm like, what? He goes, yeah, the cycles. What are you talking about? He goes, every time you press that key fob, hundreds lines of codes are going through that car, turning off semiconductors, modules, sensors. Then you go in, sit in the car, press the start button, same thing happens, okay? And then you press the start button again, and it shuts all those modules and stuff down. That's 3 cycles. And then when you leave the car, if you're like most people, you probably press the lock button about 4 or 5 times, make sure the car's locked. This just went through about 10 cycles that day. Now, if you have a big family, you're probably going to go through a washing machine every couple of years. But if you have a small family, like it's just yourself and significant other, you probably have a washing machine for 10 years. So it doesn't matter how many miles you drive, it's the cycles. And I thought that was wonderful. So I wanted to share that with you. Beautiful close. And then there's the lease wear and tear close. So when you lease a vehicle, you have 4 primary responsibilities when you lease a car. Your number 1 responsibility is to make the payments. You need to put insurance on it. You need to maintain the vehicle, and you need to return it in satisfactory condition. Okay. But in addition to that, everybody has a liability, okay? Normal wear and tear is the lease company liable for, all right? Physical damage, the insurance company's liable for. Who do you think's liable for excess wear? You are, okay? And that's why you should consider enrolling in the excess wear and tear program so you can eliminate your liability. Who wants to, liable is a big word. Who wants to be liable for this? So that's a really good close as well. And then take a second look, okay? If the customer says no, or let's say they buy a service contract. See, now that you enroll in the service contract, I'm just going to need your final acceptance here that you accepted the service contract. But wait, there's more, okay? I don't know if I mentioned to you, the tire and wheel is only $12 a month. Or the interior exterior is only $11 a month. Do you have a reconsideration to enroll in those programs before you sign this form? So take a second shot on the final acceptance. Now remember, I mentioned to you yesterday that my suggestion is to print the menu without the pricing on the menu. And then when you go to the final acceptance, show the monthly payment, okay? So all the customer has to know is the difference between the base payment they came in on and what the additional options would cost them should they enroll in that column. And then you can have any type of discussion you want. But the final acceptance is a great way to sell more product. And even if they didn't buy something, use it to influence the customer to buy something, all right? So practice, practice, practice. Don't practice until you get it right. Practice until you can't get it wrong. So I do this to myself a lot. I just don't want it. Yeah, you want it. I know you want it. I can't afford it. I'm on a budget. No, you just don't want to spend the extra money. I don't want my payment to go up. I get it. The last thing you wanted to have when you came in my office is the payment to go up. Maybe another way of looking at it. You mind if I share something with you? That's a lot of money. Yeah, but look at all it does. You know what? I'll take my chances. Oh, so you do see a risk. Had it before, never use it. Oh, I get it. You feel you wasted your money. Hey, I don't own the vehicle. Yeah, but you're still going to take care of it, right? Yeah, I never had a problem in the past. That doesn't mean you're going to never have a problem in the future. Wouldn't you agree? Do I have to let you know now? Can I think about it? No, you don't have to let me know now, but obviously you wouldn't say that if you weren't someone interested in the program. Hey, I was told not to buy it. By who? Dave Ramsey. Well, Dave Ramsey can afford not to buy it. He lives on a friggin' in the ocean. And he has 5 Maseratis parked in his driveway. It's a lease. Why should I care? Listen, don't lie to me. You do care. You're going to change the oil. You're going to take the car wash every friggin' other day. My friend's a mechanic. Oh, yeah? He should be a technician. And by the way, let's give him a call. Why? Because he'll tell you to buy the service contract because that's how he gets paid. I have AAA. Oh, great. Let me show you something. Practice until you can't get it wrong. Ladies and gentlemen, this is ridiculous, okay? So what I want to share with you, there's some valuable resources, all right? But what I want to share with you now is I want to review what I'm going to send to you so that you have an understanding of what it is, okay? So you're going to get this playbook, and inside the playbook is going to be becoming an expert at your craft does not come easily. A little thing saved by me. The world of the finance manager. It's going to have write down the common acronyms that we have. Characteristics, responsibility, again, lasting impression, what you should do every day, dealer checklist, don't deliver the product. Everything we talked about pretty much we discussed here, how to set expectations, the importance of vocal and visual communication, and then an explanation of the introduction, the role, internet, the 3-point turn, on-site, off-site. So I was going to talk about the examples I shared with you with regard to texting and stuff, the introduction, what we do on the introduction, the total word track on the introduction, what I mentioned to you about credit. You're going to get the part that I didn't have in the action guide. You'll get the review the credit application. And then creating awareness, how to create awareness. It's more explained. Everything's written, non-essential, essential spending, everything that I discussed with you. But more importantly, the word tracks. They're all right here. All the word tracks are in here. So you can look at the word tracks, memorize them, personalize them. It talks about 1, 2, 3, 4 columns, how to do it, the whole objection handling that I just went through. But more importantly, I'm going to share with you all these word tracks. All these word tracks are in here, in the explanations, in the illustrations, okay? From I'll think about it to do I have to let you know now? Word track after word track, word tracks, word tracks, word tracks, okay? All that, you're going to get all this, how to do the final acceptance, and then fact or fiction. And I'm going to give you, okay, in this workbook, I went over all this stuff, how to use the props, specific word tracks, okay? The budget close, 99.9% reliable. The factory close I just shared with you. Frequency of repair for service contracts. The stapler versus the cell phone. Everything I discussed with you. Low profile tires versus regular tires, okay? The gap closes. Insurance company, the customer's going through an insurance company, fabric and paint closes, key closes, windshield closes, and I'm going to give you the 3 blocks so that you can print them out and just have them handy, and then just fill in the blank. The frequency of repair. Once you read the frequency of repair rebuttal, you'll be able to just use this illustration and just jot it all down. The physical the SS wear and tear that I had, I'm going to give this to you as well. Gap close, and a lease auto leasing supplement that I didn't go over at all today. Okay, so this talks about lease terminology, how to structure leases, how to close on leases, how to use the lease wear cards, and that lease end close I shared with you, the excess wear and tear close. So you're going to get that. Okay. In addition to that, I am going to give you, this one's really cool, I think. All right, this one I put together, I think is really cool. So it starts with the fundamentals of gaining commitment. It talks about the 4 steps to handling the stages for handling customer rejection. Take the knee-jerk reaction out of it. Let your customer make a choice. Drive it to the money. All the things we talked about today. Okay. Again, it's the same thing as the F&I playbook, but this is all about objection handling. Okay. Memorize word tracks. It's all the same. But the one difference in this book, and again, you don't have to print this. You can keep it on your desktop. All the specific word tracks that I just went through. It's basically the same stuff. But more importantly, I'm giving you the illustrations that I shared with you earlier. See that? You can print these out. Okay. So this close I didn't go over. I believe, or I've had F&I managers tell me that 90% of your vehicle is made up of technology, sheet metal, and glass. Only 10% is made up of the powertrain, which I think is a really good illustration to show customers why they should enroll in a service contract and not rely on the powertrain coverage. So you're going to get this illustration. You're also going to get that illustration that I shared with you in the session, automotive semiconductors. So what you can do is you can take this PDF form, which I'm going to send over to everybody that's on this webinar, and you can print these out in color, laminate them, or stick them into an evidence manual so you can start showing your customers these things. So I've taken the mystery out of it, so you don't have to be Googling anywhere, right? I'm giving you all this stuff. This is the wiring harness. I mean, take a look at that freaking thing. That's a typical wiring harness in a vehicle, all right? And then I've given you, this is really cool too, all right? I've dressed it up a little bit, all right? And then you got this one, alphabetical list of automotive sensors. Imagine sticking that in front of someone's nose when they say no to a service contract. Say, look, just take a look at this. I know you're going to change your mind. All right. All the things that I shared with you, I got a better picture of the sensors in cars. So you're going to have all this information. There's the cycles, everything, the tire and wheel. All right. And then articles. I'm giving you articles. All right. AAA articles. All right. AAA study. All these things I share with you. This is your evidence manual. I put an evidence manual together for you. AAA potholes. Unbelievable stuff. The cost of ownership, updated 2024. All right. All this stuff is yours. If you sell theft protection, National Insurance Crime Bureau statistics on theft. Again, theft. And remember I said the windshield is an integral part of your vehicle? It says it right here. The windshield provides a significant amount of strength to the structural support in the cabin of a vehicle. All right. The windshield is an integral part of the safety restraint. I wasn't kidding. More articles. Fact sheet. All the articles I share with you. Car and Driver says the cost of a vehicle, 40% of it in 2021. In 2025, 45 to 50% of the vehicle cost will be made up of electronics. What your insurance companies do, different insurance companies, how much they'll pay, what percentage they'll pay, and if they have gap or not. So you're going to get all that. All right. It's all yours, baby. All right. I got to tell you, man, I reduced it down to the ridiculous in training, and I hope everybody got enough of it because there's a lot of information there. And now it's time for you all to practice, drill, and rehearse. Okay? Ladies and gentlemen, I appreciate your time. We had a great group. Thank you.